Sometimes I think I just like the simple life, you know, relax a little and raise a family.
Settle down, are you kidding? I'm at the top of my game. I'm right up there with the big dogs. Girls, come on. Leave the saving of the world to the men? I don't think so. I don't think so.
So, I've always been fascinated with this line that precedes The Incredibles title card. Not only is it a great character beat to start the film, but it also hints towards the conflict at the center of the narrative. Despite the film being called The Incredibles, the first half of the narrative is really only about Mr. Incredible, following his midlife superhero crisis and the need to relive the glory days. For the first hour, the film follows two separate paths, following the superhero antics and spy intrigue that Bob is caught up with, along with the everyday life of the Parr family. Since Bob is our point of view character, the family matters are left in the background, as the exciting superhero developments consume our attention, and subsequently, the screen time. It is only when Bob's mission gets out of hand, when it starts to impact his family life, that his family intervenes. After this transition, the rest of the family is finally given a chance to shine, and we realize that a family that saves the world together stays together.
I love you.
When these two storylines collide, the film becomes The Incredibles. Because of all of this, the transition that merges these two storylines is easily one of the film's most important moments, and it happens with the scene of Revelations. One of my favorite elements of animation is the ability to remove and exaggerate information. For instance, this room, which houses Syndrome's supercomputer, is kept in complete darkness, visualizing the secrets that it stores. Furthermore, the screen is obnoxiously big, filling the entire screen and showing the weight that the secrets hold. Speaking of secrets, the scene is intercut with Helen investigating the validity of Bob's story, which we all know is complete bullshit. In film editing, when you cut between two separate actions or scenes, it signifies a connection between the two. The cross-cutting here is mainly used to signify parallel action, meaning that in the timeline of the narrative, these two events are occurring at the same time. In addition, this technique is also used to thematically link these two narratives, as both protagonists are presented with technology that will reveal what they want to know. Both scenes are the crescendos of the respective storylines, with Helen realizing that her family is falling apart, and Bob realizing that he's a part of a giant scheme that has been used to wipe out all of his old superhero colleagues. The scene punctuates these escalations in several ways. For one, nearly every shot is a push-in, getting as close as possible during reaction shots, and having the revelations fill up the entire screen. There's also Michael Giacchino's fantastic score, which starts as a simple melody, but builds and builds into an overwhelming sensation. The cross-cutting is also used to heighten these dramatic beats. For instance, Helen learning that Bob's story is a lie is immediately cut off by the list of supers killed by Syndrome. But before we can see Bob's reaction, the film cuts back to Helen's reaction to the previous information. While Helen is only reacting to the information in front of her, this edit serves as the film's own reaction to the deaths of all the supers. There's also this line.
Would you like to find out?
Which is immediately followed up by Bob finding out what Syndrome knows of Helen, seeing just how hard this hits to home. The stakes for Bob could not get any bigger, with an attack planned for the city, along with a giant doomsday clock which fills the entire screen. Everything he has done has led to this moment, and he must act now if he's going to stop it. And then Helen decides to act. The truth has been revealed, and it ain't pretty. These narratives colliding results in a giant explosion of chaos, with the film using rapid-fire editing to overwhelm the viewer. The scene ends as it began, in complete darkness. Bob's midlife crisis is over. The Incredibles is about to begin.